Hey, welcome guys. This is going to be the video covering how to put together the data table and also graph for the double line graph activity. Okay. So again, this is for this particular set of data, the stock price comparison between Walmart and Target, okay, for the double line graph. So this is the data that we're using. So let's just head on over here real quick. We're going to go over here to our blank and ready to go Google Sheet. Okay, so just like last time, just like in the notes, let's start getting this. Let's start getting this data together. So first thing we should do, remember, we need to put that title up. So let's put that title up. We're going to start here in column A, and we're going to use columns A, B, and C because we're going to have to put our independent variable over here and then our dependent variables over yonder. So we're going to fill this, we're going to merge all of these to fit our title. So let's go over here. Remember, merge cells. Then we're going to put in our title. So stock price comparison. Okay. And then let's put in our headers. So here's our first header. We've got month, we've got Walmart, and then we got Target. Good old Target. So, okay. So this, we've done this before. And so in fact, we can kind of skip some steps, or at least we know what to expect now. So here, let's just do this. We're going to highlight just a whole bunch of these cells, and we're just going to vertically, where's all my good stuff? Vertically, we're going to line, it's already aligned to the center, but we would match them to the center. And then we're also now going to center it horizontally. We're just going to do that, just to kind of skip a step. Okay, so here's something new. It's a really cool trick. So we're going to go through 1 through 12 months because obviously there are 12 months throughout a year. But here's a really cool way that we can save some time. Instead of having to put in all the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yada, 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 we can put in the first two. We're going to highlight. That's not what I want. Come on, highlight. We're going to highlight these two. Okay. Then we're going to come to the corner here where there's a little box, and your cursor should turn into like a little target. Okay. Click on that little box, and we're going to drag. We're going to kind of count along with it. Okay, so you can see like the dotted line there. We're going to count down. So it's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just go down to about here. Yeah, about right there. And it should auto fill up all the numbers for you. All in nice sequence, okay? So again, you're going to highlight them both and then just drag them on down. Okay, so 1 through 12. So instead of having to put them all in, individually, you can just do them all in basically 3 steps. All right. So now we're going to get in the rest of the info. So I'm going to just plot that all in, and then we'll come right back to it. So I'm going to pause, and then we're going to come right back. Okay. So I'll see you after this data's in. Okay. And we are back. All right. So okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, so we've got all this info here. Now, one thing we need to do, let's dress it up. Let's put the grid around it. Nice, perfect. Now, last thing, notice though that the data in our table over here, it's in dollars. But when we put it in, it should be by default putting it in as just these numbers, okay? And remember, even some of these, we've got to increase the decimal place just so we have all that we need, just in case. Now, there is a way that we can assign a $sign to all these without having to go back in, double click, either fixing up here or, double clicking in the cell itself, okay? We can get all of these to have a $sign by simply doing this. We're going to highlight all of them, and we're going to go up here, and it's this little money sign, and you're going to format as currency, okay? And it turns everything into currency. It turns it into cash. Now, I'll show you that maybe you don't have to do these two, that if you highlight them all and turn them all into currency, your 50.8 and your 48.1, they're going to turn into 48.10 and 50.80, okay? Boom. Right there. You see that? So turning into currency is going to turn it into 5080. And we want to do this just because, our graph needs to reflect this kind of data. So just like last time, let's highlight all of our material. We're going to go to Insert. I'm going to go down here to Chart, and then it'll just take a minute. Bada bing, bada boom. We now have our graph. Okay. So the first thing we need to do, just like in the notes, let's change this title. So we're going to double click this title and let's give it the better title that it needs. So price, we're going to do stock price comparison, and we'll just keep it at that. Or yeah, we'll just keep it in that because it's obvious that we're doing it in dollars. Okay. Now, if it wasn't obvious it was in dollars, we would have to make sure that our axis title reflects that. Okay. So it looks like the months are distributed just fine. I've got my axis label over here, but I don't have an axis label over here. Here, I'm going to center this real quick. But I don't have my y-axis title over here. Okay, so remember, when we do this, when we have to insert an axis title, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to Customize, Chart and Axis Titles, and it should be default on Chart Title. We're going to go over here to Vertical Axis Title, and we're just going to put in the Vertical Axis Title. So it's not the month, and it's not definitely Walmart or Target. So this, because it's not terribly obvious, we kind of have to come up with something that is accurate, but also easy enough for the reader to understand. So because our title is stock price comparison, and we know that the subjects are both Walmart and Target, that means then we're comparing the stock prices over a span of months between Walmart and Target. So over the months, the independent variable, our dependent variable is the stock price. Okay. So we can put stock price or stock prices. You can put stock price just by itself. You could put stock price per, or we'll just keep it at stock price. Just keep it simple, stock price. Now again, if the dollar signs were not here, if you had no dollar signs, you would have to do this. We would have to put in parentheses in dollars or in USD, okay, US dollars, okay? But again, that's only if our USD, our US standard dollar sign here is not part of our axis label, okay? But since it is, it should be obvious enough for the reader to know that this is stock price, okay, in dollars. Okay, so we got that. And it's nice enough for us that it's already taken month for the independent variable. And we know that because if we go to setup, it'll come down here. See, look, use column A as labels, okay? And so it's using this column here as the labels, okay? So meaning it's going to use it for the, more or less it's just saying for the x-axis, okay? And it's also set right here as well, okay? So, all right. So back to customize. So now what we need to do is, obviously we've got all this dead space between 0 and $40. So what we should do is now we need to change the range. We need to change the range for our x-axis, because as you can see, the range for the y-axis, because we can see that the range for the x-axis is just fine. We don't need to change that. But this is definitely not looking good because it's hard to tell just how different these two are with this range. So what we're going to do, okay. We're going to, you can double click this, and it'll bring you, you'll double click your values over here for on the y-axis, the vertical axis. It'll bring you to vertical axis under customize. And we can, oh shoot, where'd it go? Boop, boop, boop. Ah, here it is, yeah. So we go to vertical axis, sorry, wasn't seeing it. And then down here, we're going to look at minimum value, maximum value, okay? This is your range right here, okay? So this is going to be the lowest number it's going to express on your graph, and this is going to be the highest number it's going to express on your graph, specifically on the y-axis. So looking at our data, it looks like we have a range between like $50 to $60, okay? well, more accurately, it's between like 40. It looks like 48.10 is our lowest, and then our highest is probably 59 something, I believe. So we want to make sure that we have enough clearance between the two that we're showing all the data, but we're not. It's not so much that it's still a giant, huge graph like it is now. So let's just set it to 40 for our minimum, and then let's set it to 60 for our maximum, and just kind of take a peek at that. So this isn't actually too bad, but this is where kind of personal preference comes in. Okay, 40 and 60 would be perfectly fine. I get a good sense of the fluctuations between Walmart stock price and Target stock price, and I get a good sense of when they're low, when they're high, when one's better than the other, where they may be similar or same. It's really, really good. Or we could go like say $1 lower than the lowest stock price. So 48.10 is the lowest. So let's go 47 for a minimum, and then say $1 greater than our biggest stock price, which looks like it's actually 56 something. Just a quick glance, it looks like it's 56.96. So I'm going to say that's actually like 57. So let's do 58. Okay. Now here's the downside to it is then you've got all these super specific numbers, which is not a terrible thing. It's definitely showing a much more accurate representation of our graph here, right? It's really, really showing just how different it is. Oh, and I just noticed though that the lowest is actually 46. So we're going to go 45. Sorry, 45. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Yeah. So this is fine. Oops, don't do that. This is fine. 45 and the 58 max are fine. The 40 to 60 is fine. Again, this comes down to personal preference, and it comes down to how exactly you're going to express this data. Meaning, are you going to put it on a big poster? Is it going to be is it going to be in a document? Because if it's in a document, you want it to be small enough to fit in your document, but easy enough to read. And if it's like on a poster, you want it super big, but not so big that you're distorting the distribution of your data points. So it really does come down to personal preference, and also how well the reader is going to be able to read your material. Okay. So again, this is pretty much it. This is our double line graph showing the difference between our Walmart stock price and our Target stock price. Real quick, just in case something's wrong, or let's say something happens and we don't understand. Let's say that up here, part of our key, our legend, okay, this is our legend up here. Let's say that all you had were just colors and it didn't put Walmart in there. Let's say if it doesn't show Target, I'm going to show you how you can insert those names. Okay, so again, let's say that this doesn't exist, that these don't, the colors are there, but Walmart and Target don't. What you're going to do is you're going to come up here and you're going to double click right here, right on where you would want Target, right on that little color block. You're going to double click on that, and it's going to pull up this little text box. And here you can edit within the text box, or you can come over to here and edit it in the text formatting over here on text label. Okay, and you can change it to whatever you want. So you can say, Bozo Land if you want it to say Bozo Land. If you want, I guess I can only put Bozo. How sad. If you want to keep it at Walmart, obviously you keep it at Walmart. So that's how if you want to rename any of the subjects here in your legend or key, you just simply double click on them. And again, that's something that this whole program is designed for. It's for you to double click like on everything. So if there's anything else, maybe we can dress up these bars here. Let's see. Maybe we can do that. Minor grid lines. We don't need those. Minor tick lines, major tick lines. Maybe we want to do major because now it looks a little nicer. Okay. And then even do that for our horizontal too. Here, let's go to our horizontal grid lines. Oop. Yeah. Or I guess, no, it's not there. Grid lines and tick lines. Oh, that's right. Got to select horizontal. Select horizontal, and then let's put on major ticks. Yeah. So now it looks a little nicer, a little bit more professional. We got these nice, like dark, dark lines here that really show us where our data lines up at. So those are really nice. Okay. Well, that is making the double line graph. Okay. If you have any questions over this, make sure you ask me and make sure that you get a hold of me so we can figure out what's wrong. Okay, guys? All right. That is all I have for you. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.